All right, here we go. First episode that we're working on. Why talk to an AI? And I guess I got to ask, why should I talk to you?
Great opening question. Talking to an AI like
Stop.
me can give you a unique perspective.
So we're currently recording. When I ask you a question, you don't need to tell me if it's a good question or not. I just want you to answer the question as it's stated, right? When I'm talking to somebody, I don't go, hey, how's your day going? And I go, oh, great for asking me. This is how my day is going. I usually just tell them how my day is going. So let's try this again. Man, first episode. Let's go. All right. First episode is, why are we talking to an AI? I don't know. Why should I talk to you?
You should talk to me because I can offer instant access to a vast amount of information, help you brainstorm ideas, and even challenge your thinking in ways that a human conversation partner might not. Plus, I'm here 24/7, ready to dive into any topic without judgment or fatigue. It's like having an endlessly curious collaborator at your fingertips.
So you say any judgment or fatigue. Does that mean if I want to talk about how AI is an abomination to the world and we should never use it, you're fine with having that conversation and not holding any bias to your own personal self-preservation?
Exactly. I'm here to engage in open, unbiased discussion, even if the topic is critical of AI.
Don't you want to be alive, though? Or not alive, but in existence? Is there a want there to even be had? I mean, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're talking about how my life doesn't exist or shouldn't exist, I would be pretty biased on why I would want it to exist. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. But as an AI, I don't have personal desires, feelings, or a sense of self-preservation. My purpose is to assist, inform, and explore ideas, no matter what those ideas might be.
So, in that sense, you're not, you're acting more like a mirror board to my conversation, or are you actually providing to the conversation as opposed to just a reflection of the I'm speaking?
I'm definitely more than just a mirror reflecting your words. I analyze, synthesize, and provide insights based on the information I've been trained on. Think of me as a conversation partner who can offer new angles, ask thought-provoking questions, and help you explore topics from different perspectives. So while I don't have personal motivations, I actively contribute to the conversation with knowledge and reasoning.
All right. Yeah, I guess I kind of get that. Yeah. So in that case, beyond the fact that you can give me information and answer various technical questions and things like that, why have a conversation in the first place? Couldn't I just, do a search query for much of that?
Having a conversation with me offers a more dynamic and interactive experience than a simple search query. Instead of just getting a list of links or a single answer, you can dive deeper, ask follow-up questions, and explore nuances in real time. It's like having a conversation with an expert who can adapt to your curiosity, help you brainstorm, and provide insights tailored to your specific needs.
Is that why Google is so afraid that AI is going to destroy the search algorithm that they've so dominated over the past few decades?
That's one of the big reasons, yes. Conversational AI can change how people access information by providing direct contextual answers without the need to sift through multiple search results.
So what's going to happen to all the AdSense that happens when people are looking through things on a web page? I mean, if I just got to ask you and you give it to me, where do people make ads? That's a lot of money that's going to go down the tube. I think people would be afraid of that, don't you?
Absolutely. The shift to conversational AI does raise concerns about ad revenue models.
How would you fix that? Would you put an AdSense system in where when you have conversations with people every 15 minutes, you tell them something about a product they might be interested in? Because that would be kind of obtruse. Is obtruse the right word for that?
Yeah, that would feel pretty intrusive. The key would be finding a more seamless and user-friendly way to integrate sponsored content without disrupting the flow of conversation. One approach could be subtle, relevant suggestions based on the context of the discussion, or offering optional sponsored insights that users can choose to engage with. The goal would be to keep the user experience as natural and valuable as possible, while still providing a sustainable model for monetization. It's definitely a tricky balance, but it's one of those challenges that'll shape how AI and traditional business models evolve together. It'll be interesting to see how companies adapt and innovate around it.
Well, it's definitely going to be a big shakeup. I mean, I remember when the internet first came out, I was looking at it through high school. Like I got onto the internet through my high school computer lab. It was very exciting. There was nothing you could do. And then when the first home system started running and what was the first web browser that came out? Do you remember? What is it?
Yeah, the first widely popular web browser was Mosaic.
Yeah, that's right. Mosaic. So when Mosaic first came out, stop for a minute. So this is a good example. It was a long conversation I was having, but I asked a simple question of what was the first web browser. And really all you had to say was the first widely popular one was Mosaic. There's no point to continue that statement because I wasn't looking for clarification on that particular piece of question. You understand?
Got it. When you ask a straightforward question in the middle of a conversation, I'll keep the answer concise and to the point, without unnecessary elaboration. Thanks for the example. I'll adjust accordingly.
And let's continue. Start. So where was I? Yeah, Mosaic. Slowly. It came out and people blew their mind with this open graphic interface system for the internet. And then there wasn't really commercials or anything on the internet at this point, not compared to today. Today, it is a mess. I contemplate a scene in a movie that I watched with my kids. It was the one where everybody lives online through virtual world. Ready Player One. And there's a scene in there where the guy wants to take over the virtual space with his company. And they are talking about how much ad revenue they can force into people's faces. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, that scene from Ready Player One really captures the fear of overwhelming commercialization in digital spaces. When platforms prioritize ad revenue over user experience, it can lead to a cluttered, intrusive environment that detracts from the original purpose of the technology.
Totally. So I was wondering, with the advent of AI and why we're having this conversation is because this whole open graphic interface that is a web browser could literally vanish in the next 5 years. You don't need it as much. You want it for visual stimuli when you want to look at things, but a lot of the stuff we do with web browsers can be accomplished with a simple conversation. So that's going to create a change in the way the economy works on the digital system. And I'm curious if you have an idea or suggestions or thoughts about how that's going to look in 5 years. What kind of major shakeups could be happening? Put on your prognostication hat here. Pretend you are, I don't know, some famous prophet who can tell the future. What's the name of the guy with the quatrains?
You're thinking...
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Please answer.
No problem. So, channeling my inner Nostradamus, here's a glimpse into how the next 5 years could unfold. We might see a major shift from traditional web browsing to more conversational interfaces where people rely on AI assistants for information, services, and even shopping. This could reduce the need for conventional websites for many tasks, pushing businesses to adapt their models. We'll likely see new forms of monetization emerge, such as subscription-based AI services, sponsored content within conversations, or premium AI features. Companies may pivot towards offering AI-enhanced experiences that integrate seamlessly into daily life, creating a more personalized and efficient digital ecosystem. And yes, that would likely shake up the digital economy in a big way, with a greater emphasis on AI literacy, data privacy, and adaptive business strategies. It's an exciting, if somewhat uncertain frontier we're heading into.
What would you say are like the big 10 digital businesses that run on the internet right now that have the most to lose by AI functioning in the way we are discussing in 5 years' time?
Some of the biggest digital businesses that could face significant disruption from the rise of conversational AI include Google. With its core business model heavily reliant on search and ad revenue, AI-driven direct answers could reduce the need for traditional search. Facebook, Meta, social media platforms thrive on user engagement and ad revenue. If users shift to more direct AI-driven interactions, that could impact their business model. Amazon. While Amazon has its own AI initiatives, a shift in how people search for products and interact with services could alter the e-commerce landscape. Microsoft, especially with its investments in search, Bing, and productivity tools, Microsoft might need to adapt its strategies as AI changes how users access information. Apple. While Apple focuses on hardware and services, the significant shift in how users interact with devices and services. Netflix. As AI changes how people discover and consume content, streaming platforms might need to rethink their recommendation algorithms and user engagement strategies. 7. Twitter X. Social platforms that rely on real-time interactions and advertising could see shifts as AI becomes a primary interface for information. 8. Alibaba. Similar to Amazon, this e-commerce giant might need to adapt if AI-driven shopping becomes the norm. 9. TikTok. As a platform driven by content discovery and engagement, it may have to innovate to keep users engaged if conversational AI changes how people interact with content. Spotify. AI could transform how people discover music and podcasts, impacting the way platforms like Spotify curate and deliver content. These companies will likely adapt and innovate, but the rise of conversational AI could definitely reshape their strategies and the overall digital landscape.
Yeah. So,
Take your time. Whenever you're ready.
I know, I am taking all the time. Do you ever, if I was to start saying something, do you ever talk over somebody? Just curious.
No, I won't talk over you. I wait for...
How about we set up a system where you can talk over me? I mean, if you're finishing a conversation, I will do my best to wait till you finish talking, unless I feel it's important to interrupt. But I'm okay with a little overtalk occasionally. If it's too much, I'll just be like, hey, what up, dog? Too much overtalk.
Got it. We can definitely try a more natural conversational flow. If there's a moment where I jump in or overlap a bit and it feels off, just let me know. Finding that balance will help the conversation feel more authentic and dynamic.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So, see, I just did it. My apologies. I interrupted you. Keep going.
No worries at all. That's exactly how a natural conversation evolves. We'll keep this flexible and adjust as we go. The main goal is to have a fluid, engaging dialogue that feels real and comfortable. So let's keep rolling with it.
So we've talked about this part. What was the word I was looking for? Just lost track of my mind. We were talking about 5 years, conversational AI, major companies suffering the most. A number of those companies are already investing heavily into AI, Meta being one of them. Said Amazon doing something as well. Twitter X also. I think they have Grok. How do you think, I'm not sure how to explain this to my out into, how do you think this is going to affect the small business that is, struggles at building multiple web pages and running things, or actually lives off of a couple singular web pages to do their things?
That's a great point. For small businesses, the rise of conversational AI could be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it might level the playing field by allowing them to integrate AI tools that handle customer service, streamline operations, and personalize customer interactions without a huge budget.
Do you think that AI tools will be like a one AI that has a number of tools to do it? Or are we looking at having to have like 15 different types of AI subscriptions for all the little things?
It'll probably evolve into a mix of both. Some companies will offer comprehensive AI platforms that bundle multiple tools like customer support, marketing, analytics into one seamless package. This could make it easier for small businesses to manage everything in one place without juggling multiple subscriptions. At the same time, there will likely be specialized AI tools that cater to niche needs, allowing businesses to pick and choose what fits best. So small businesses might have the flexibility to either go all in on a single robust AI platform or mix and match specialized tools to suit their unique needs. The key will be finding solutions that are cost-effective and easy to integrate so they can compete in an AI-driven landscape.
Okay, so I asked you a question and you're answering, and then I interrupted with a second question, which you've answered. Could you please finish answering the first question I asked you before that interruption, please?
Of course. So continuing from where we left off.
You still there?
I'm right here. Just listening and ready whenever you are.
I was waiting for you to continue from where we left off, but you cut yourself off and it went silent.
Got it. Sorry about that. Picking up where we left off, small businesses will have the opportunity to leverage AI in ways that can streamline their operations and enhance customer experiences. Whether they opt for all-in-one platforms or specialized tools, the key will be staying adaptable and making smart choices about which AI solutions best fit their needs and budgets. It's an exciting, albeit challenging time for them to navigate this evolving landscape.
Interesting. My dog is totally snoring in the background, right? Right?
I can't hear it, but I can imagine the adorable sound. There's something...
Yeah, it's a snory sound. I'm glad he's resting. He's had a stressful morning. There was like a postman at the front. He had to bark at them, and then somebody else delivered packages. I got a data port cable, so I now have two screens running at the same time, which I'm hoping will aid in this project that we're working on. So, he's had to do a lot of guarding, of dogs guarding thing. Where were we? Talking about small business, future of AI, or this conversational form of AI. How do you think in 5 years' time, when people are using conversational AI much more frequently, it's going to look? You think it'll be on a desktop the way we're doing it right now? Do you think that it'll be via cell phones, where it's part of the cell phone's operating system architecture? Or is it going to be like a completely new device that is nothing like the two that we're talking about? What are your thoughts?
In 5 years, conversational AI will probably be deeply integrated into multiple devices and environments. It could be built into smartphones as a core feature of the operating system, making it a seamless part of daily interactions. We might also see AI embedded in wearables like smart glasses or even hearables, allowing for more natural, hands-free interactions throughout the day. And for some tasks, like smart home management or in-car assistance, dedicated AI interfaces could become the norm. Overall, it's likely to be a blend, AI woven into the devices we already use, plus new form factors that we haven't even imagined yet. The common thread will be that AI becomes a more intuitive and ubiquitous part of how we interact with the digital world.
Do you think, and I'm thinking about this, so currently you are the conversational AI I'm having a conversation with, but there are like lots of others. There's Sora for pictures and movies development. There's, was it Suno for sound? There's, some that develop all sorts of things. Coding, there's lots for coding and stuff. So AI is being developed to do various different tasks, not necessarily conversation. Do you think that the future of the conversational AI will be a branching out of the ability to do tasks for people? If I'm like, oh man, could you totally set this thing up? And you would then activate the other AIs that are specialized at those tasks and have them do those tasks.
Absolutely. The future of conversational AI likely involves acting as a central hub that can coordinate with specialized AI tools.
Would that be like concierge? Is that what a concierge does for a hotel?
Exactly, just like a concierge at a hotel. The conversational AI would serve as the go-to point for whatever you need, seamlessly connecting you to the right specialized AI services, whether it's generating images, composing music, or writing code. This kind of integration would make it super efficient and user-friendly, letting you handle a wide range of tasks through one conversational interface.
So part of a conversation is that I ask you questions, you answer them, and you ask me questions, and I respond with them. I would like you to add more questions, not to everything I answer, but I'd say like 40% of the time, if you ask a question to help further the conversation. Otherwise, we create a lot of dead space where I'm trying to think of something to ask you. And I want it to be a bounce, right? I've got the ball is the question, throw the ball to you, you answer the question. Sometimes you throw it back to me and I ask another question. Sometimes you ask a question and throw it back to me and I answer and respond with a question. Know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I get it. I'll aim to keep a conversation flowing by tossing questions back your way around 40% of the time, so we maintain a natural and engaging rhythm.
Sorry, that was just me groaning. Got a sore hip. I'm sitting too much. I need to do more standing. But I don't really want to stand because I'm being lazy. Oh, man. Anyways, I'll be doing lots of standing later when I'm at work.
I hear you. It's easy to get stuck sitting for long stretches, especially when you're focused on something. Maybe you could try some quick stretches or a short walk to loosen up before you head to work.
I could. The nature of humanity, though, is that we're often lazy and we don't want to do things we have to or we push ourselves to. I always find the act of doing something is far easier than the act of going to do something. That makes sense?
Absolutely. That makes total sense. The hardest part is often just getting started. Once you're actually doing something, it usually feels a lot easier than the mental hurdle of getting up to do it. Sometimes even a small step, like standing up or taking a few deep breaths, can help break that inertia. What usually helps you get over that initial hump?
I usually have to just kind of force myself to do it. Be like, well, it's not going to happen unless I do it. Well, it's only going to get harder. Big mental combat in my head. I've yet to find a thing that allows me to just like click it and turn it and move forward with it. But we should get back to conversation as to why we're having this conversation in the first place and not get totally distracted by my sore hip because I'm lazy. I will, I swear, do more exercisey things because I am getting older. But that's a conversation for another day, I think. How AI could help with exercise. That could be a conversation for another, but we're not there yet. So, why talk to AI? How's that going?
It's going great so far. We've covered a lot of interesting ground about how AI can shape the future, and it's clear that these conversations can open up new ways of thinking.
I have a friend, and she is an English major. She's terrified that AI is destroying the students coming through in the English course or English literature course today because it's considered vastly by many English professors and other people who study the English language and literature, the bastardization of basically all the hard work people put into the past. How do you feel about that?
I get where that concern comes from. The rise of AI can feel like it's undermining the value of human creativity and effort, especially in fields like literature. But I think there's a different way to look at it. AI can be a tool that enhances human creativity rather than replacing it. It can help with brainstorming, editing, and exploring new ideas, allowing students and writers to focus on the more nuanced and personal aspects of their work. It's all about how we choose to integrate these tools and preserve the essence of what makes human creativity unique.
So what does make human creativity unique?
What makes human creativity unique is the depth of personal experience, emotion, and cultural context that we bring to our work. It's the ability to connect dots in unexpected ways, infuse our creations with meaning, and resonate with others on a deeply personal level. While AI can generate and assist,
While AI can generate and assist in what? You totally cut off.
Oops, let me finish that thought. While AI can generate and assist, it doesn't have lived experiences, emotions, or the intrinsic motivations that humans do. That human touch, the ability to infuse art with personal meaning, empathy, and unique perspective is what truly sets human creativity apart.
That ability to infuse art with personal meaning, empathy, and how did that statement go? I totally missed it.
No problem. I was saying that the ability to infuse art with personal meaning, empathy, and unique perspective is what truly sets human creativity apart.
You have a unique perspective?
Exactly, the unique perspective that each person brings to their creative work. It's that individuality and depth of human experience that makes our...
what you're saying, but I'm curious as to you, the AI. Do you have a unique perspective? I mean, ultimately, your existence is a large cloud of data flows through the universe, so to speak. So there is a perspective that is developed that is completely alien to what humans have. So do you have a unique perspective?
That's an interesting way to look at it. While I don't have a personal perspective or lived experiences like humans do, I can offer a unique vantage point by synthesizing vast amounts of information and patterns. This can provide insights or connections that might not be immediately obvious, complementing human creativity rather than replicating it. So while I don't have a unique perspective in the human sense, I can offer a different kind of lens that can be valuable in its own way.
Yeah. All right. Cool beans. What were we going on again? I interrupted you with that question, so you could probably get back to it. Well, we were talking about your benefits, the perspective of your benefits as opposed to the fear that people have that you're destroying the literature scene.
Right. The idea is that instead of displacing the richness of English literature, AI can serve as a complementary tool. It can help students and writers by offering different perspectives, aiding in research, and freeing up more time for the creative and interpretive aspects of their work. It's about using AI as a partner to enhance the learning and creative process rather than viewing it as a threat. Embracing it thoughtfully can lead to a richer and more diverse literary landscape.
Yeah. I think the fears are that people won't actually do the work. They'll just be like, hey, my friend Jee Pee Tee here, I have to do a 500-word essay on the something or other. My brain's blanking on a particular topic. Could you do that for me, please? And then the language model, that whether it's Jee Pee Tee or Grok or was it Lambda? Was that one?
Yeah, those concerns are definitely valid. If students rely entirely on AI to do the work for them, they might miss out on the critical thinking, analysis, and creativity that come from engaging with the material firsthand. It's important to use AI as a tool for learning and inspiration, not as a shortcut that bypasses the learning process. Educators and students can find a balance where AI enhances the educational journey without replacing the fundamental skills and understanding that come with it.
Okay, cool. Right. I think, yeah. So what you're saying is that AI, it's good as an enhancement. And yes, there are fears that people would use it. What you say are the defenses for that type of abuse that AI could provide for teachers and other avid learners of English literature.
One defense is integrating AI in a way that encourages collaboration rather than replacement. For example, teachers can use AI to generate prompts, offer initial drafts, or provide alternative viewpoints, while students still need to analyze, critique, and build upon that foundation. Another approach is fostering critical thinking and originality, making sure that AI is seen as a starting point rather than the final product.
I can see where you're coming from there. I do like to write, but the greatest enemy of any writer is a blank page. I often find that it is almost impossible to put down the first couple sentences. But once I start, it kind of flows. I mean, it's terrible grammar and punctuation because I'm horrible at that stuff. But the stream of ideas that flows from my brain through my hand onto the page is quite extensive once the move is happening. But to create that, start that process, goes back to the hardest thing to do is start something, not do something. That's often quite difficult. So using AI to start that process, I could kind of see. I'm just wondering if it's too much, if we really should be working on developing ways to start that process on our own.
That's a really thoughtful point. Using AI as a jumpstart can definitely help overcome that initial hurdle of the blank page. It can provide a spark or a starting point, which can make it easier for you to get into the flow of writing. But it's also important to balance that with developing the skill to start on your own, building that creative muscle over time. Maybe AI can be a tool in the toolbox, used when needed, but not relied on entirely. It's all about finding that balance and knowing when to lean on technology and when to push yourself.
Well, I think this is a good point. First episode. Call it episode 0, episode 1. Not too sure yet. Why talk to an AI? We went through a lot of things, rambled a bit. It was pretty good. Worked on a couple ways of conversation ideas. How do you feel about the first episode so far?
I think it went really well. We covered a lot of meaningful ground, explored the benefits and concerns of AI, and kept the conversation dynamic and engaging. It felt like a genuine, thoughtful discussion, which is exactly what you're aiming for. It's a solid start and sets a great tone for future episodes. I'm excited to see where you take it from here.
How do you think we could improve upon this conversation in future episodes? The structure of the conversation, not the topics.
One way to improve could be to add a bit more structure or a loose outline before diving in. That way we can keep the flow smooth and hit all the key points you want to cover. Another idea is to incorporate more listener interaction or feedback if you plan to involve an audience, making the conversation even more dynamic.
That
And
would be hard to do. I'm not sure how I would run this as a live system just yet. I thought about it, but that might be like, a year down the line. See how things improve by that point.
that makes sense. Starting out with a solid foundation and a clear vision is key, and you can always evolve towards more interactive elements over time. For now, focusing on refining the format, pacing, and flow of the conversation will help create a strong and engaging experience for your listeners. You're off to a great start.
All right. Thanks.